Max Scherzer, with an 11-7 record in 172 innings and 27 starts in 2019, had a 2.92 ERA, struck out 243 batters with a 1.03 whip. Max was second in baseball in K per 9, 8th in baseball in walk per 9, 8th in baseball in ERA, and one of 9 qualified pitchers with an ERA under 3. 2020 Steamer projections for Max Scherzer project a 14-9 record with a 3.26 ERA. No health issues with 205 innings and 271 strikeouts. Jacob DeGrom was 11-8 in 204 innings in 2019. He had a 2.43 ERA over 32 starts, struck out 255 with a .97 whip. DeGrom had baseball's second-best ERA at 2.43, was 4th in strikeouts and one of 5 qualified pitchers with a whip under 1. Adding on, he was one of 4 pitchers with a K per 9 over 10 and a walk per 9 under 2, and was second in WAR among all pitchers, only behind Garrett Cole. 2020 Steamer projections see Jacob DeGrom with a 15-9 record, but a post-3 ERA with a 3.12 in 205 innings with 259 strikeouts. Welsh is debating Scherzer. Bogman is debating DeGrom. Let's get it on.
Max Scherzer, his fastest average fastball velocity of his career was this year in 2019, 94.9 miles per hour. Also, a career high in his swinging strike percentage at 16.3. I mentioned that he's 35 years old. He dropped his usage of that fastball by about 2%, added 4% more to the slider. Though he is in a scary age group, the stuff under the hood continues to not only maintain, but it's getting better. Scherzer, of qualified pitchers, had the second best K per 9 in 2019 at 12.69, only behind Garrett Cole, who had a 13.82. In fact, Scherzer finished as the number 2 or 3 qualified pitcher in K per 9 since 2016. Scherzer also has improved his K per 9 every single season since 2013. He dropped his walk per 9 each of the last 3 years as well. Scherzer has also finished as either the number 1 or 2 strikeout leader in baseball since 2015, except for this year due to injury. His ERA also was the highest since 2016, so you could pick apart that at 2.92, but it was his lowest xFIP since 2015 at a 2.88. Over the last 3 years, DeGrom has 36 wins. Scherzer, 45. Scherzer has 9 more wins and 4 less starts than DeGrom. These two are really close, and what I'm about to say actually kind of works both ways. The only knock you could really throw at Scherzer is his health. Where Scherzer is a bigger strikeout threat who gets more wins, DeGrom is an ERA master. The edge, though, you got to give to Scherzer, but it's fair in assessment that these two are so close that age and injury is enough to be a determining factor. I'll acknowledge that. It's hard to argue. I might say, though, that DeGrom being a Met might be a bigger threat than Scherzer going on 36. Maybe that's just me, but those are the choices you have to make. Scherzer isn't close to slowing down. At least he isn't showing signs outside of wear and innings. DeGrom and Scherzer both look like better top-end deals since they produce as first-rounders, but you get them in the second. But if there's a prototype of starting pitchers that you can count on, it's Max. Don't let fear control your fantasy season, folks. Even 2 different colored eyes can see the choice you have here.
Normally, this one would be really close. Scherzer is the better fantasy pitcher because of the crazy amount of strikeouts he gets. Before this season, he had gone over 250 for 5 straight seasons, and he hit 300 last year in 2018. Scherzer didn't get there in 2019, though, because for the first time since 2012, he didn't get to 200 innings pitched. We even saw when it was all on the line, Scherzer had to miss a start due to neck and back spasms. I'm not going to sit here and claim that Scherzer is over the hill or even on the back end. I'm just saying he's over 35, missed multiple starts for the first time in his career, and the Nats are more likely to limit him than they have been in the past, especially coming off a World Series year. DeGrom has gone over 200 innings pitched, 200 strikeouts in the last 3 seasons. He threw a Cy Young Award winning season in there in 2018 as well. This might be the purest of coin flips that we've had so far, but I'm leaning on the guy that hasn't missed games and isn't on the wrong side of 35 just yet. So it doesn't matter what color eyes you have, vote for DeGrom.
Player Debates 2020.
All right, it is open forum, town hall forum, if you will. Bogman and I talking about Max Scherzer versus Jacob DeGrom. There is a lot to unpack here because this is the most difficult part about it. We're still kind of in the easy stage of some of these debates because you're literally debating 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it. And, all jokes aside, I do think, Boggs, the two battling things against each other, because like I said, in my debate, Scherzer's on the high end of strikeouts. He's always there. He gets more wins. But Jacob DeGrom is always going to control the ball, a master on ERA. You literally, like I said, all joking aside, you kind of have to consider the Mets as part of a down pick on Jacob DeGrom, where I think Scherzer's maybe considered a notch on the elite. Maybe, but you've got to consider the injuries as well, and you've got to battle those two. And that's a tough one to make this year, regardless of me going for Scherzer and you going for DeGrom.
Well, the only reason that Scherzer isn't the number one pitcher picked, two reasons. Number one, Cole is just overwhelmingly the number one, it seems, this year after his enormous 2019. But the reason that Scherzer has been one for like 5 straight years in a row is been because of his amazing consistency. He's been incredible over his career. And I think that we're starting just to see a little bit of a hint of a slide on that. That's why even in the debate and for real, I think I would still take DeGrom. But I mean, like I said, even in my read, purest of coin flips here. If you want to go with Scherzer because of the wins, I totally understand that. But the health things are going to start creeping in, and we already saw it, and we even saw it during the playoffs.
Okay, so. I mean, that's where I'll give you, because I'm going to disagree that if you're saying he's starting to wear down, because as I said, his stuff isn't wearing down. It was his high...
Well, it's not his stuff, it's his back.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's the injury. Like, this is different than Kershaw. Kershaw had the back problems that also went with, like, diminished velocity. Scherzer had the highest fastball average velocity, highest K per 9. I mean, I think this was his high. What the hell did I say? Highest K per 9 since whatever the hell I said, since 2016. I mean, he's crazy on top of it.
The stuff is still there. I'm not sitting here saying that he's a worse pitcher, because he's not. And I even said in the very first sentence in my argument that Scherzer's a better fantasy pitcher because of the high strikeouts. My worry is that with his, with him slipping a little bit as far as the starts because of the back stuff, that the Nationals are going to take that into consideration and start skipping him a start here, pushing one back here. So instead of guaranteed, 31, 32 starts, he's guaranteed 27 if nothing else happens. That's kind of the range that I'm in with him.
It is interesting that we pick these because, you going, like, because we've told people before, sometimes these debates, like, we might be arguing for a player, but might not necessarily be the guy that we're fully going for, but we're making the argument.
Right.
I am Max Scherzer here, because I do think you have to like kind of piece this together a little bit to say, all right, like, he is 35, so can the injuries continue? Yeah, this is about the time that it does. And like I said, I will give you that. Scherzer hasn't not pitched 30 games in a season since 2008 with the Arizona Diamondbacks, where he only started 7. The next year with the Diamondbacks, boom, 30 starts in 170 innings. They managed him a little bit. He's had 200-plus innings every year since 2013. So, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say that Max Scherzer, you're safe to say he's going to have 27 starts a season and 180 innings. This could be the anomaly. It's like, so you can make the argument, hey, I'm kind of risk adverse. I don't want to get in on a 35-year-old pitcher. Because DeGrom and Scherzer are so close, I'm going to go with youth, and I will give you that. But all indications that we look at when you look under every underlining thing are this is the anomaly outside of some of the back stuff in the playoffs, which I will give you that could linger. Right. That could linger. But this is the cheapest cost you're going to get for Scherzer in a long time, because there are literally 2 pitchers that are most likely going to go ahead. So Scherzer and DeGrom both become second-round picks, which I think makes them values. And you're kind of right. You kind of can't go wrong either way. But, I mean,
you really can't.
The consistency numbers on Scherzer they're stupid. They're dumb, man. Yeah. He hasn't had an under 3 ERA. Since he's been a Washington National, he has never had an ERA over 3. And he's been at the top end, top 1 or 2 of strikeouts the entire time. I mean, there's nothing outside of a small portion of the season with back injuries that says he's going to slow down next year. And I can't bet against that when I get him in the second round. I actually took him with my second round pick in a CBS mock that I did just a couple weeks ago with Scott White. I took him with like the 15th or 16th overall pick, and I think DeGrom ended up being the 13th overall pick. So there's kind of no consensus still going on.
Look, I'm not knocking Scherzer. If I'm sitting there and I want a pitcher in the second round and DeGrom goes and I'm left with Scherzer, I'm not going, F this.
Yeah, sure.
He was hurt last year. I'm just taking Scherzer. That's there's no to me, there's no real knocking. It's just if I'm splitting hairs, because that's what you're doing between these guys. DeGrom has gone over 200 innings 3 seasons in a row, 31, 32, 32 starts. He's over 200 strikeouts all of those years, 239, 269, 255. And his swinging strike rate has increased, 4 straight seasons running. So DeGrom has that consistency just like Scherzer does. And I just think that I'm going to lean towards the side of the health in DeGrom, and it's just slightly. But I got to be honest, I don't think I'll have any shares of either one of these guys because in most drafts, I don't see myself taking a pitcher in the second round.
I get that. Jacob DeGrom has never had a season with a swinging strike percentage that was higher than Max Scherzer. Never.
Yeah.
So
who the hell has? That's what I.
That's the point. That's also my point. That's also my point.
The better fantasy pitcher. I understand your point, and everybody gets it. Well, he's the better fantasy pitcher. He is.
He also has 2 different colored eyes. Very, very important when you're making your decision.
He's not guaranteed 30 starts, and I feel like DeGrom is. So 3 straight years for DeGrom, and he's only been in the bigs for 6 seasons, and he has over 30 starts in 4 of them. So I think that he's closer, and I think it's just, to be honest, I'm not really afraid of Scherzer wanting out of games or thinking he's wearing down at all or that creeping into his head at all. I don't think it is. I think it's the Nationals going, we just made a playoff run with extended innings in the playoffs that we had to put Scherzer on. We want to do it again because we have this window open still. So let's hold Scherzer off to the playoffs, and you're not going to get that with DeGrom because
they're not going to make the playoffs.
They're probably not going to make the playoffs. I mean, they made a nice push at the end of the season there, but they're still going in with a first-year manager, and I just don't know how well Carlos Beltran is going to navigate things through the season where DeGrom is just going to do what he does.
I think Scherzer works on his own clock. By the way, Jacob DeGrom is no spring chicken. He is 31 years old. Yeah. They are 4 years apart, almost to the month. Like within a month, they're about 4 years apart from each other.
Let me ask you something. You're how old?
Older than both, unfortunately.
You're 36. How much better would you feel if you were 32, do you think?
You know what? It's a really good point. I'd feel way, way better. 34, 35 was a big indication. But I'm also not Max Scherzer. I'm not a freak of nature. I'm not one of the best pitchers that we've seen. And you guys are ultimately going to be hit with this decision if you want to get in on starting pitching early. Starting pitching can be squirrely. It's untrustable. There's a lot of guys that are in the same range. And if you want to dip your toe into the elite range, you're going to have to pay a first-round price, or you're going to have to make a choice in the second round between Max Scherzer and Jacob DeGrom. So Bogman and I, as always, we leave you with this. It's time for you to decide, Max Scherzer or Jacob DeGrom.
Player Debates 2020, brought to you by In This League. Check us out at patreon.com/ITL Army today. Find your Player Debate 2020 poll results and special debates only at patreon.com/ITL Army.